Hello guys, this is Supreme and you are watching YouTube channel Project JE Need. So in the previous session, we have discussed some basic concepts and problems regarding chemical equilibrium chapter, and this is the lecture 2 of the chemical equilibrium chapter. So in this session, we are going to continue those topics and going to further concepts. So in the previous session, we have discussed about reactants, products, types of reactions, equilibrium state and its properties, and we stopped near equilibrium state at physical and chemical processes. So in this session, we are going to complete the physical and chemical processes and equilibrium state at that point. So before going to equilibrium state at physical and chemical processes, first of all we have to know the meaning of physical processes and chemical processes. So first of all, what is meant by physical processes? Physical processes are the process where the physical change happens, and the chemical processes are the process where the chemical change or chemical conversion will be happened. So the examples of physical processes. So one of the example of the physical process, conversion of water. So the water changes its state from solid state to vapor state, or directly from solid state to liquid state to gaseous state. So there is a physical change in the state of water. So that's called physical process. So chemical process, here the chemical change will be happening. So which means the reaction happens. Indirectly reaction is the chemical change. So conversion of reactants to products is a chemical process or a chemical change. So now let's start the equilibrium state in physical and chemical processes. So first of all we will go to the equilibrium state in physical processes. So there is some instant where the concentration of the products and the concentration of the reactants will be constant for some time. So for example, in the conversion of state of water, so in being converted to solid to gases, there is some instance where the concentration of the water, the products and the reactants will be constant. So that is called equilibrium state. In example is dissolution of salt. So in the process of dissolution of salt, the salt amount converted to liquid state is equal to the salt amount present in the solid state in the process of dissolution. That instant where the process is called as equilibrium state. As we have discussed now, the example of physical process, evaporation of water. Evaporation of water will also come under the example of equilibrium state in physical process, because at some instant there is equilibrium state in the conversion of water in liquid state to gaseous state. So that will also be considered as the example of the equilibrium state. So next, going to the chemical processes. So this chapter is mainly based on chemical processes only. So from now we will not be discussing about the physical processes equilibrium state, because the chapter name is chemical equilibrium. So we will be discussing about chemical equilibrium only. For suppose, let's take an example. 1. Decomposition reaction between ammonium chloride and water. The reaction between ammonium chloride and water will be considered as an equilibrium reaction, because there is some instant at which the equilibrium state will be remained or attained by these two compounds as the products. So this is the main example of the chemical equilibrium state. So the next example is the reaction between hydrogen and iodide. So as we know, this reaction will come in most of the questions of this chapter. So H2 plus I2 gives rise to 2HI is a normal reaction where the equilibrium state will be attained by these reactants and products. Now let's go briefly and deeply into the equilibrium state in chemical processes. So for example, let's take a general chemical reaction. A plus B, equilibrium state of C plus D. So let's take two reactants and two products. So there is an equilibrium state which will be attained by these two products and reactants. Let's understand this by a graph. So y-axis indicates the concentration of the substances. Concentration increases as the y-axis increases. So for x-axis we will take the equilibrium state. So generally the graph looks like this. So this line indicates the concentration of the reactants. So this slide indicates the concentration of products. Please note the graph. This graph is the very most important graph in the starting of this chapter. Let's understand this graph. So first of all, we shall discuss about the reactants line. So as this line indicates the reactants concentration, we can clearly observe that the concentration of the reactants decreases as the time proceeds. So here at the lowest time point, at the beginning of the reaction, the concentration of the reactants is maximum, and as the time proceeds, let's see that the reactants line is going on decreasing. So at the maximum time, the reactants concentration will be constant, and that will be minimum concentration of the reactants. So now going to the products line. So as we know that this line indicates the product's concentration. So here we can clearly observe that at the minimum time, the concentration of the products is minimum. That means if the beginning of the reaction there is no concentration for products, which means there is no compounds in the product state. So as the time increases, as the time proceeds, the graph increases, because the products, the reactants concentration will be converting into the products. So the products concentration will be going on increasing. So at maximum time, the products concentration will be maximum, and that is constant concentration of the products. So let's draw another graph regarding rates of forward and backward reactions as time proceeds. Okay. So here y-axis indicates the rate of forward and backward reactions, and x-axis indicates equilibrium state time. So clearly the graph looks like as following manner. Okay, this is the graph of rates of forward and backward reactions according to the time. So this upper line indicates the rate of forward reaction, and this lower line indicates the rate of backward reaction. So as we clearly observe that the line of the rate of forward reaction decreases, and at some instant the line comes to the constant rest form. So, and if we observe backward reaction line, the line gradually increased, and at the same point where the forward reaction has been constant, so at the same point the backward reaction is also became constant, and the line coincide with the state of rate of forward reaction. Now let's discuss some conditions for which a particular reaction will get attained by the chemical equilibrium state. So the first condition which we will be discussing is, if a reaction must attain the equilibrium state, that reaction must be a reversible reaction. This is the must and should condition. The reaction should be a reversible reaction. So now second condition for which the particular reaction must be attaining the equilibrium state is, the whole reaction must be done in a closed vessel. Closed vessel only. And the third reaction or the third condition is, this whole process should be done at constant temperature only. At constant temperature. So these are the three conditions which should be must and should followed by the reaction in order to attain equilibrium state. So note these three conditions, and these three conditions will be occurring in all the reactions which we are going to discuss from now. So now let's discuss some characteristics of chemical equilibrium, some properties of chemical equilibrium. So the first one is, it is dynamic in nature. It is dynamic in nature. Why I am saying that it is dynamic in nature? Because in a equilibrium reaction or a chemical equilibrium attained reaction, the rates of forward reaction is equal to the rate of backward reaction, and both the forward and backward reactions will be takes place in same rates or with same rates. That's why we can say that the chemical equilibrium is dynamic in nature. So the second point is the properties such as density, color, concentration or pressure. These four components will be constant during the whole reaction, either forward reaction or backward reaction. The pressure, concentration and density as well as color, these four components will be in the constant state. They will not change forever. Now going to the third point. So for suppose, let's take an example of a general reaction where the equilibrium will not be attained. It is a single direction, unidirectional reaction. So in that reaction, if we add a catalyst, that catalyst will make the process fastly and make the reaction complete very fast within no time. So in the equilibrium state, if we add catalyst to this reaction, there will be no difference. Either addition of the catalyst is done or not done. The chemical equilibrium will be attained at the same time. The time of attaining chemical equilibrium will not be changed by the addition of catalyst, but the concentrations or the rate will be increased. The time of attainment of the chemical equilibrium will be faster than a normal case. So the fourth point is delta G in case of chemical equilibrium is equal to 0. Here we got a new symbol, delta G. This is Gibbs free energy. Gibbs energy, generally noted as Gibbs energy. So according to this, we will be discussing about this later, but now this will be considered. The fifth property of the chemical equilibrium is the amount or the concentration. The amount or concentration of the products and reactions will be remained unchanged at some instant where the equilibrium state is attained. So for suppose, let's take an example. The chemical equilibrium state is attained in a particular reaction, and at the time this point says us about the amount or the concentration of the products and reactants will be remained unchanged. That means the amounts of concentration of products and reactants is constant for the time of attainment of the chemical equilibrium. The sixth property of the chemical equation or equilibrium is, so chemical equilibrium can be attained by both the sides of the reaction, which means, for suppose let's take a forward reaction and backward reaction. In these two cases exist. First one is forward to backward reaction type, and second one is backward to forward reaction type. This law says about the chemical equilibrium can be attained by both the sides, which means either forward to backward type or backward to forward type. So this property is the most important property of chemical equilibrium. So students, till now we have discussed about the physical processes, chemical processes and equilibrium state in the two processes, and we gone through the graphs regarding rates of forward and backward reaction and concentration of reactants and products, and then we discussed some properties of chemical equilibrium, and now we are going to discuss types of chemical equilibrium. So in the next session we will be discussing about the types of chemical equilibrium. Until then, stay tuned and have a nice day.